It's Monday, January 31st, 2022. Before we start this video today, I just want to give a shout out to the gentleman who said hi to me earlier today. I was at a restaurant. It was called China Walk in Palm Desert, California. Good little restaurant. And I was leaving, and this gentleman said hi to me. Didn't catch his name, but thank you for saying hi. Thanks for watching and supporting the channel. I wish I had a few more minutes to chat with you, but I didn't want to impose as you were sitting down having lunch. But I just wanted to say thank you and thanks for watching the show. And that goes for everybody. Thank you so much for watching the show. Please make sure you subscribe. Please make sure you give this video a thumbs up and share these videos. But let's get into what's happening. I want to start by saying this. Fake money has created fake markets. It's created a fake economy, and it has also created real problems, and we are beginning to see real problems. And if you don't believe me, just go to my video from yesterday and see the problems that are taking place in San Diego. Vacancies, for lease and for sale signs everywhere. The homeless crisis absolutely skyrocketing. So if you get a chance, go to my yesterday's video in San Diego. It is startling to see what is happening in San Diego. It is startling to see how many people are living in tents and boxes and sleeping on the sidewalks. It is really unbelievable where we are at today in 2022 and what is taking place. Yet people are telling you and I that everything is fine. Get in your cars, get out of your houses, get off the couch, go take a drive and see what's happening in your cities. It's happening right here in small towns like Palm Springs. There's homeless everywhere, and nobody wants to deal with it. But as this economy continues to crumble, as people lose jobs, as addictions and more mental disorders take place, it's going to have to be dealt with sooner or later. It is getting absolutely out of control. But I want to talk a little bit, shifting gears here, about the markets. I guess we're just going to ignore the past few weeks, because today, markets across the board up. Dow Jones up 406 points. The S&P was up 83 points. NASDAQ was up 469 points today. Russell 2000 up 59 points today. It seems to me like the markets are losing fear that the Fed is going to do anything whatsoever. They're losing fear that there will be rate hikes, that they're going to shorten up the balance sheet. No fear. There is no fear out there, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone now on television believes that the inflation problem is just soon going to disappear. I don't know how that's going to take place, but here we are now. This euphoria is back. And as I said yesterday on my video, why wouldn't the markets continue to go up today? We're at 0% interest rates. The Fed is still expanding its balance sheet. It's still purchasing bonds and treasuries, and it's still buying in these markets. So why shouldn't the markets go up? Last week, just talking about a 25 basis point rate hike sent these markets crumbling, sent these markets to their knees. But again, the Fed's still purchasing, still printing, and still at 0% interest rates. So why shouldn't markets continue to go up? And the question now is, how many times will they raise rates? What will these rate hikes be? 25 basis points, a half point? Will we get one rate hike, two rate hikes, 7 rate hikes? Nobody even knows. All this uncertainty. Now, we were told that because of the uncertainty, the markets, this is what sent the markets down. It was uncertainty. Then it was war. Then it was health crisis this, health crisis that. But then all of a sudden, Apple had a good earnings report, and everything's okay. So here we are, back to the euphoria today. Nothing to worry about, ladies and gentlemen. But as I drive around and I see what's happening in cities like San Diego, Los Angeles, cities like Palm Springs, and I see people just wandering around, and I see the amount of vacancies and closures, businesses currently that are open that are not even paying rent, as I see 107 million people not in the labor force, massive debts and deficits, and yet they're telling you and I not to worry about anything. Inflation? How about that? Maybe we should be worrying about inflation. Central banks have rigged the world and the markets, ladies and gentlemen, and we're told that as long as the stock market continues to go up, everything is fine. Nothing to worry about. You don't have to worry about the price of gas. the price at the grocery store, nothing to worry about as long as the stock market continues to go up. So I wonder how many people today are doing better because the stock market, the Dow Jones was up 406 points. Did it help your life out today? Did it help you at the pump? Did it help you at the grocery store? Did it help you when you're using that credit card at 22% interest? Did it really help a lot of people today? Did it make you feel safer? Did it make you feel more financially sound and comfortable knowing that the stock market was up today? Or did it do absolutely nothing for you because you live in the real world and you have to go to the grocery store, you have to go to the gas station, and you are paying more in energy, more in insurance, more in rent, etc. And so we have a real big disconnect here. And as we see this disconnect, big banks have profited massively from cheap money. You didn't profit. You will be the ones to pay for these big banks making the big profits, the 1% making the big profits. You will be the ones to pay for this. And right now, you're beginning to pay for it with this massive inflation. And they're telling you on the television that somehow it's going to disappear. I don't believe it is. I believe it will continue to get worse. And now we're at this crossroads where the Fed has a big decision to make. Are they going to save the markets or are they going to save the economy? And when you look at Fed Chairman Powell and many of his associates, many of these people are heavily invested in these markets. So we have a real contradiction here. They don't want to take losses, right? They want the markets to continue to go up. But knowing that this inflation is beginning to get out of control, they must do something. And if they don't do anything, it's going to benefit these markets. If they do something, it's going to send these markets to their knees. But I think, in my opinion, and many of your opinions, they will do too little and it will be too late. No matter what they do or don't do, we are going to see big trouble. I was reading an article today on wolfstreet.com. Whoosh goes the Fed, lowest lowball inflation measure, and eats up all income gains plus some. Just to recap this article briefly, inflation is at its worst level in 40 years. And it's having a major impact on your wages and your salaries. Individuals are having to slice the pie in smaller pieces. And people now are going through their savings accounts, they're eating it up. They're more reliant now on buy now, pay later services, credit cards, payday loans. And we are going to see more debt slaves created, I think, in the next 12 months than any other time in history, at least in recent time. People are eating at home more now, and this was interesting, and this relates back to the last couple days in San Diego. We went out to a couple restaurants while we were there, and we were out on Friday, Saturday night. These restaurants were dead, absolutely dead, in cities like Carlsbad, Vista. Now, we did see on Saturday or Sunday afternoon, people right down on the coast in Carlsbad eating, and the restaurants seem pretty busy in town. But for the most part, everything inland was not busy. A lot of office buildings just vacant, for sale, for lease. The industrial centers for sale. So I've never seen so much commercial real estate for sale. Every block, when we were driving through Vista and Carlsbad, there were for sale and for lease signs. Vacancies everywhere. And many of these big office buildings, big medical centers, just vacant. It was unbelievable. But if less people are going out to eat, this means that people in the restaurant industry and the restaurants themselves are in big trouble. They're on borrowed time. So I know that I eat out a decent amount of times during the week because I'm on the run, I'm out, I'm working, whatever, and so it's more convenient for me to do that. But I'm doing more to make sure that I'm preparing food at home, probably more now than ever before. So I'm eating out a lot less than I was a few years back. And this is going to have an impact. This will have an impact on the restaurant business. And I saw it firsthand in San Diego. Let me know your thoughts. Comment down below. And of course, we've all said the same thing. The service is horrible. The portions are smaller. The quality of food has gotten worse. No doubt about it. Now, there are some good places that I've been to that have not changed. They've not. I mean, the prices have gone up without a doubt, but they're still giving you good service, good quality food. But I would say half the restaurants that I've been to in the last year, at least half have gone downhill, terrible service, lower quality of food, smaller portions, prices up. Another article from Wolf Street. Dear Mr. Fed Chair Powell, sir, rents are blowing out and people are hurting. The people that are really getting hurt the most are the average people, the average consumers, people making $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a year, the average Joe. Not millionaires, not billionaires. And it's the average person that is paying the price for these monetary policies, which have really made the wealthier much more wealthy. And it's going to continue to be the same this year, ladies and gentlemen. In January, the median asking rent for a one-bedroom apartment increased by 10% or more in 56 of the top 100 cities in the U.S. compared to a year ago. I mean, that is a substantial increase. In 34 of the largest 100 cities, one-bedroom rent spiked by 15 to 28%. In 20 of those cities, rent spiked 20% or more, and in 11 of those cities, rent spiked 25% or more. So I don't know how people are going to continue to do this. It is really, again, just being down to San Diego this weekend was just another eye-opener. It really started to resemble parts of Los Angeles. And when we see what's happening to the restaurant business, when I drive by and see so many buildings in San Diego with for sale and for rent signs, for lease signs, so many little mom and pop restaurants closed in those little strip centers, just gone. And people are just now just conditioning themselves to just see vacant buildings and homeless people wandering, around like it was out of some apocalyptic movie. That's where we're at. But just watching these markets a little bit today, it's again, we're back to the euphoria that everything is fine. Things are going to be back to normal before you know it. Don't worry about anything. Markets are up. Again, don't worry about inflation. Don't worry about businesses closing. Don't worry about your neighborhood restaurant closed. Don't worry about, people wandering the streets all over the cities. Nothing to worry about. That's the sign of a flourishing economy, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry about continued job losses, people out of the labor market, record deficits, record trade deficits, record debt. Nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about. And if you have to, just use one of your 8, 9, or 10 credit cards to get by. Don't worry, things will get better tomorrow, next week, next month. Don't worry about it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm watching the euphoria on the markets today, and I'm seeing literally an apocalyptic movie when I drive through the streets of cities, whether it be downtown Palm Springs, where there's vacancies and homeless everywhere, or downtown LA or downtown San Diego. Everything is beginning to look very, very similar, and it's not looking very good. But we have a real disconnect here between Wall Street and Main Street. And Main Street is really looking scary, really, really scary. And it's going to continue to go downhill. And the question is now, can they hold on to the stock market? And if the stock market tanks, which I think it will, then what? We have a tanking economy, a tanking stock market, over 100 million people not in the labor force, debts and deficits skyrocketing, standard of living collapsing. These are the things that we need to be thinking about daily, and what we can do to prepare, because the blame game is over. You can blame the banks, the politicians, you can blame whoever you want. At the end of the day, You have got to be preparing for you and your family. So I'm going to wrap it up. Gigi wanted to say hi. Just to close it out, make sure that you have your security situated. Make sure you have food, you have water, you have real hard tangible assets like gold, like silver. You really got to be thinking outside of the box. Things that that you can use to barter with. Make sure you have extra clothes, extra boots, batteries, candles, pharmaceutical supplies, first aid, a tourniquet, things like that. Just think about what you would really need if you couldn't, leave your house for 30 days or the power is out for 30 days. Think worst case scenario, what would you need to get by? And so we all really need to be critically thinking about where this is all going to go. If you woke up tomorrow and the markets were just imploding, or the banks all shut down, or there was a power outage, these are all things we need to be thinking about. And this isn't to scare you, but this is to make you think. Honestly, if you're not scared or concerned about what's happening right now, then you live under a rock, or maybe you're the 1%. But anybody in the real world who is not concerned about what they're seeing right now outside of their window, just taking a drive, down the freeway or into a city, if you're not concerned, if you don't see what is happening, there is something wrong with you. Because you don't have to go very, very far to see the cracks that are happening financially, socially, spiritually. You don't have to go far. It's very, very obvious that we are really going through something that is not normal. So, prepare the best that you can. Just do what you can. People out there that are hoping this is going to go away, who are not making any preparations, they're making a huge mistake. God bless. Share this video. Talk with all of you very, very soon.